You earned your place, the move to the bigger club, the step up to the higher league, maybe the call up to the national team, or the jump from the 21s to the first team. Whatever the step, you didn't get there by accident. You earned it through your ability, your work, your performances. So why does it now feel like you've forgotten how to play? You know what you're capable of. You've done it hundreds of times, but in this new environment, against better players at a higher intensity, under more scrutiny, something now changes. That automatic and instinctive game that got you here feels like it's gone somewhere else. Everything requires more thought. Everything feels slightly slower, slightly harder, less natural. Now, this is one of the most common experiences in football, and almost nobody explains what is happening when this occurs. But in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on, and more importantly, how you condition your game so that when you do make that step up, you're not finding your feet. You are already thriving. Now, my name's Bowden, and I'm a mental performance coach to professional football players, and that includes Premier League and Champions League players. Now, let's get into this. Here is what is happening when a player steps up and moves to a new level and their game does not immediately follow. Now, it's not a confidence problem. It's not nerves. It's not that they do not belong there. It's a myelin gap. And by now, if you've watched some of my videos, you're going to start to understand what this myelin is. It's a coating that builds around the neural pathways in your brain, and it does this through repetition. And when it does this, it makes responses faster, more automatic, more instinctive. So the more myelin on a pathway, the less conscious processing that it requires. Then the less conscious processing that it requires, the more automatic, effortless, and brilliant that your performance is. And the player who steps up has built their myelin at the previous level, in that environment, with that pace, that intensity, those patterns around them. And at that level, they were brilliant. They were automatic, instinctive, it just happened. But at this new level, the environment, it's different. The pace is higher, the physicality greater, the patterns, maybe they're more complex, and the margins are smaller. Now, the myelin that the player has built in their brain, as good as it is, it's been built for a different set of demands. That bedding in period that almost every player experiences when they step up, it's not psychological, it is neurological. The player is building new myelin in real time, and until those pathways are conditioned for this new level of demand, everything is going to require more conscious processing than it did before. And this is why it feels like their game has sped up. Why decisions that felt automatic, they now feel like they need more thought. Why movement that was instinctive now feels like it needs to be worked out consciously. It's not that that ability has gone, it's that the myelin for these specific environments has not been built yet. And on top of this, something else is happening alongside this myelin gap. And this is one that is also rarely talked about. Now, when you've watched a level up from the situation that you've been in, when you've grown up following these clubs, these players, these environments, you build a perception of them, a mental model of what they are and how they operate. Maybe you've seen them on television, or you've watched them train and play with your own eyes. You've admired them. Then over time, often without realizing it, that admiration can build into something that works against you when you finally arrive. Awe. A-W-E. Awe. Not respect. Respect is healthy and accurate, but awe. The feeling that these players exist on a different plane. That gap between where you were and where you are now is somehow bigger than your ability can bridge. And when you carry that into your first training session or your first game, even subconsciously, it now creates a level of interference. You might find yourself watching a teammate that you've seen on television, and something shifts in how you're operating. It's not that you lack belief, it's that your mental model that you've built around this environment, the weight that you've given it, it's generating a response that pulls you away from that automatic, brilliant, instinctive performance, the one that got you here in the first place, and it makes everything seem so above you. Now, the players who will transition the fastest here, they do carry a deep respect for this level, but they have complete belief in their own game and their ability to operate brilliantly within this environment. It's not awe, it's not intimidation. This is the level, and this is my game at this level. They see this new level as just the next level where they will play their game. And you can do this through visualization specifically, because when you repeatedly rehearse yourself performing brilliantly in that environment, not watching it from the outside, but playing in it, belonging in it, thriving in it. You start to dismantle that perception gap alongside that myelin gap. So you're not conditioning yourself to ignore the quality around you. You are conditioning yourself to bring your full game into this environment, to belong there, not as an observer who has been let in, but as a player who operates naturally and brilliantly at this level. Someone who belongs here. Now, here is the problem with how most players will approach this. They wait for it to come, then they train, then they play, and they gradually build the myelin through that physical exposure, the physical experience of this new level. And eventually, weeks or maybe months later, that automatic game then returns. But here is what almost no player does, and it's the thing that will change everything. Most players do not deliberately condition their game inside this new environment before they need it. They do not rehearse their automatic, instinctive performance within this new pace, this new intensity, the scrutiny at this new level. They don't do this in advance before they get there. So when they arrive, the myelin for that specific environment is not there. Visualization will change that completely because your brain, it does not distinguish between that vividly imagined repetition and you actually physically doing it. That myelin in your brain is going to build whatever way. And this means then that you can rehearse your game, your natural, automatic, brilliant game inside the intensity of this new environment even before you get into a single training session, and certainly well before you play a competitive match. You can condition your brain for the pace, the physicality, the scrutiny, the atmosphere, whatever it is. You can do this so that when you arrive, your brain has already been there. It's already performed there, already built myelin for that specific environment. So you go in there with that belief, that automaticity in your game. Most players, they prepare to perform when everything feels familiar. That's a big problem because when things get difficult or they're out of their comfort zone, their brain is not prepared to perform in this context. And this brings me on to another important point. The visualization, it has to include the intensity. So not a comfortable, relaxed version of this new environment. It needs to be thinking of the real thing. The pace that you're expecting, the physicality, maybe the bigger crowd, the bigger personalities, all eyes on you. And then within all of that, your game, your movement, your decision making, your execution, all of it, brilliant, instinctive, automatic, exactly as good as it always has been. This is what builds the myelin on the right pathways. You're not rehearsing composure in easy conditions, you are rehearsing your brilliant game inside these real conditions. And this applies in several specific situations. So just think about these now and if any apply to you. Now, the first one is moving to a bigger club or a higher league. And I once worked with a player who made a significant move to a higher level. It was actually moving from League One to the Premier League. Now, he was a brilliant player. His quality was never in question. But in the first few weeks, he was finding it much harder than he expected. Yes, the pace was different. Yes, the patterns were different. But because of this and because of his approach, his automatic game was not quite there yet. Now, we spent time visualizing him playing in this new environment. Not a comfortable version of it, the real thing, the intensity of this new environment, the new players, the new league, the physicality of the opposition, the scrutiny that comes with a bigger club. And within all of that, him playing exactly as he was capable of playing, his movement, his decisions, his execution, automatic and instinctive. Then, before the first game of the season, he was already operating in the team like he'd been there for years. The bedding in period that usually takes months had been compressed dramatically. Not because he'd been working harder physically, but because he'd built the myelin for that environment in advance. And the second environment is when you get that international call-up. Walking into a national team environment for that first time can be one of the most intense experiences in football. Some of the very best players around you, higher scrutiny, the weight of the occasion. Many players here you feel do not know your game, so you feel like every touch is being watched, analyzed, scrutinized. Now, visualization will let you condition your performance in that exact environment before you arrive. The dressing room, the personalities, the training ground, the stadium, the quality of those players around you. And within all of this, you are playing your natural game, belonging, contributing, automatically and instinctively operating with the belief that you belong here. And the third environment is the academy step up. And I've experienced this so many times with the players that I work with. So they move from the 18s to the 21s, or from the 21s into the first team. Now these transitions are significant. The gap between age groups and senior football is a mile-in gap as much as anything else. Players who have been outstanding at every level, they can suddenly find themselves very conscious where they should be automatic. Not because their ability has dropped, but because the mile-in they built was for a different level of demand and a different environment. And again, the same approach applies here. Deliberately conditioning your game inside this new environment, building the mile-in for the pace, the physicality, the patterns, the whole environment before you physically are there. And again, you build your belief that you 100% belong here and you will excel here. Now, in every one of these situations, the message is the same. You don't have to wait for time and physical experience on the training pitch or in matches. You can start building this today, right now, right here. So let me show you how it works. So I want you to sit upright and close your eyes. What we're going to do right now is focused work. So I want you to take a breath in. And when you're ready, just let it out. Now bring to mind the environment that you are going to be stepping into, or the one you're working towards. Maybe the new club, the new level. Maybe it's the national team, the first team. Whatever that step up looks like for you, put yourself there now. Feel the environment around you, the pace of it, the intensity of it. Maybe better players than you're used to playing around. This is real. This is the level. You're not watching it from the outside, you're in it now. And you 100% absolutely belong here. This is your environment. This is where you thrive. And now, as you feel yourself in it, not finding your feet, not adjusting, playing. Your movement, natural. Your decisions, sharp. The things you do brilliantly, you're doing them here, now, in this environment, at this level. The pace around you is higher. Good. You're ready for it. It brings out your best game even more. Now bring a specific moment to mind. Maybe a pattern of play, a movement, something you do in your game. Now I want you to run through this deliberately. See the detail of it, your body shape, your timing, the specific action that you're performing. And you can slow it down if you want, get into the details of every movement, or you can run through it at full game speed. Both are going to be building the mile-in around the pathways. Feel how good it feels to be you in this new environment, belonging here, performing brilliantly here. The level is your level. The intensity is your intensity. Your game is exactly as good as it has always been. You are thriving even more in this environment. The better the level, the more that your best game comes out. Good. Another rep. Same environment, a different movement, more intensity around you this time. Maybe it's a crowd, the occasion, the eyes on you. It's still your game. Automatic, instinctive. You do the things that you've done time and time again in other environments. Now you do it in this environment. You are excelling, and feel that familiarity of performing in an environment that is not yet physically familiar. This is exactly what you are conditioning now, and that is brilliant. Open your eyes now. Well done. How did that feel? What you just did is exactly what most players never do. You rehearsed your game inside the intensity of a new environment, not a comfortable version of it, the real thing. And within this, your game thrived. Every repetition here builds that mile-in on exactly the right pathways, the pathways for this new environment. And the more consistently that you do this, the more you rehearse your game at this new level of intensity. And when you do this, the more your brain treats this environment as familiar. And then when you arrive, instead of finding your feet, you are already thriving. Now, of course, you can do these visualizations by yourself, and I would really encourage you to do it. Be specific, put yourself in the real environment, feel the intensity of it, and within it, play your brilliant game. But this is also exactly what the football mind gym conditions. So guided audio sessions where I will take you through this kind of deliberate mental rehearsal that is built specifically for football performance. 7 days are completely free. The link is in the description, and please do subscribe as it really does help to support the channel. I'll see you in the next video.